My name is Narbi Price. I'm an artist and a curator, and I'm the painter that has the exhibition here called Back Brockens. I suppose I was always the kid at school who was good at drawing, really, and it was never really a question that I'd be an artist of some kind. I didn't know what that meant at the time, but I've had a traditional sort of through education journey to be an artist. Finished my PhD a few years ago. Didn't think I'd ever be the kind of artist that did a PhD, but here I am. And now I'm sort of going from project to project and making paintings of a whole variety of different things. I suppose I've always been interested in the everyday, in the overlooked, and in sort of thinking about how we approach those things as viewers, as people, and painting these things in a particular way that just makes us slow down a little bit, I think, and just makes us sort of think about what's gone before us and what might be coming. I suppose a lot of my influences are filmic, they're musical. I don't really get influenced by many other painters, to be quite honest. But TV influences me a lot. The TV programs by Jonathan Meades from the 90s, they were a big influence on my sense of composition, sense of colour, certain music, certain moods, I think, are the things that really kind of come through with what I want to communicate. Back Brockens has been sort of 2, maybe even 3 years in the making. It was originally commissioned by No More Nout. It looks at the 13 collieries that were still open at the beginning of the miners' strike in 1984-5. And it looks at the time that's gone past in that, since that 40 years has gone by. Here in Sunderland, there are 43 paintings that take the sites of those collieries and invite contemplation on the time that's gone past, what's happened at that time, what's happened since, and what we're left with now. The title of the show, Back Brockens, is a reference to a book that was written in 1994 by Mark Hudson, who's also part of the show, called Back Brockens. So it's a reference to that book, and it's a reference to the stories that were told in that book. So in the exhibition, we have sound clips that were from interviews that were made in the early 90s for that book that have never been heard. So we've got this 2-part thing. We've got this sound work that's never been heard, and this everyday poetry of people talking with these paintings. And there's a real link between the two things, between the sound and the images. So these paintings have come from journeys, so making journeys to these sites that have these rich histories, and sort of walking around and seeing what catches my eye more than anything else. And then that gets translated back in the studio into these works, and I'm choosing what to sort of emphasize, so that they're very painterly paintings. What might look in reproduction and reduction as quite photographic. When you see them in the flesh, there's a lot going on the surface. There's thick paint and thin paint and drips and scratches, all kinds of different ways of mark making in there.